Here we go.
Thanks so much for calling LifeWatch about heart company. My name is Devontae. Can I have the patient's phone number, please?
Yes, name is William Greathouse, 612-790-4340.
43.
612-790-4340.
Patient's first and last name, please.
William Greathouse,
And then the date of birth and address, please.
122460 and 924 11th Avenue, Howard Lake, lot 36. And I got a PO box. Do you need that too?
Oh, no, the physical address is fine. And you are the patient I'm speaking with, correct?
Yes, I am.
Can I help you, sir?
Okay, so I had this happen once. I've had this actually happen a couple of times where the patch cuts out and don't have the signal with the monitor.
Mm-hmm.
And it actually happened the first time it happened, it was all night long. And then I called you guys, and you guys said that you guys have instructions not to call people back after 24 hours of no signal. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And so then yesterday, well, actually on Friday, it prompted me to change the patch. So I changed the patch, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it went good. And then later that afternoon, it kept saying it wasn't tight to the skin when it was, and it was flashing the little orange light. So I pulled the chip and put the chip back in with the patch on me, and that seemed to have fixed the problem, right? And then, of course, the error thing about not being tight to my skin was gone. And then yesterday, it proceeded to say the same thing again and again, and then it said change the patch again. So I took the patch off, and I sent the phone back to you, the monitor back to you today.
Okay, so today was your last day. When was the last day you had it on?
I took it off yesterday, and I was waiting to see if you'd call me this morning. You said you'd call after 24 hours, and of course nobody called, so I went ahead and put it back in the mail to you guys.
Did you return it back UPS or post office?
Yes, I went to the post office.
And you did that today, correct?
Yes, I did that today, so.
Okay, so you're good to go on my end. Any other questions for me?
Nope, that's about it. I mean, I guess what I don't understand is if it loses signal and you guys don't call back after 24 hours after it's lost signal, so if somebody kicked the bucket and there was no signal because they kicked the bucket, you would what, call them back after they're dead 24 hours later, or how does that work? That didn't make any sense to me, so.
Yeah, so you usually do call after the 20, if they start receiving data after the 24 hours, they usually give you a call.
Okay, yeah, well, I took it off yesterday, didn't get called today, so I'm calling you because I went ahead and returned it to you guys, so. But that was my question. So, with that, I have nothing else. Okay, thanks.
Okay, did you have any other questions or concerns for me?
Nope.
Okay, well, sir, thanks so much for calling LifeWatch about our company. Have a great day, okay?
Yep, bye. There you go. You heard that, didn't you? Okay, so these guys, what you're looking at here, okay? These guys are supposedly the pioneers of remote health monitoring. Okay, so, and they call by the name of LifeWatch. When you call their number and talk to them, they go by the name of LifeWatch, okay? And so what do we got here? We got a situation where, during the live feed with Steve Holcomb, I mentioned something towards the end of the live feed that happened on Saturday night with me. And I mentioned it again yesterday. And people that's been following me know that back in 2015, I'd had a heart attack and I underwent open heart surgery and had a quadruple bypass done to my heart. And so, anyhow, over the course of the last couple of months, I was already told, though, by the heart doctor and by the surgeon that I've got a whole bunch of my small veins, the real small veins, that have blockages in them, and they can do nothing to repair these veins. And so I was told that I would have chest pain off and on for the rest of my life by the surgeon. I was told this also by the heart doctor, who also pointed at the picture of the heart on the wall back when I was in there, and proceeded to tell me as one of these little veins blocks the rest of the way off, you're going to have a little heart attack, but not to worry about that little heart attack because it will not be enough to kill me because they have fixed all of my major arteries. This is what their explanation was. Okay. Now, I proceeded to course to question what the small veins do, and I got the dance, I got the runaround. When I asked what do the small veins do, I got the runaround. This is how I got the picture of the heart on the wall pointed at and pointed at a small vein and says it blocks off, you'll have a heart attack, but don't worry about it, it won't be enough to kill you. Okay. But the surgeon, when I asked him the same question, what do the small veins do? He danced around it. He would never answer the question. So I did my due diligence and did my own homework, and I found out what the little veins do. Now, it just so happens I know somebody who has the same issue I have with all their a whole bunch of small veins being blocked, though they've never had a heart attack at this point, and they was told that they're unable to work. They was told the same thing I found out, that the small veins supply the extra blood the heart needs during times where you're exerting yourself or exercising. Exerting yourself or exercising is when extra blood pushes through these veins that the heart needs at that time. Okay? And this is all they had to tell me when I asked what do the small veins do, but they wouldn't do this. So the next time I was in at the heart doctor's office, I brought it up to him. I said, so the small veins supplied the extra blood needed to the heart when exerting yourself for exercise, and turned and looked me right in the face and acknowledged it immediately. He says that is correct. You know, and I never said no more about it because, see, when I asked the question when I didn't know what they were doing, they wouldn't answer it. When I tell them what the small veins do, they acknowledge it. This says cover up. This says these people have been instructed by their bosses to not tell people what the veins do, and they're probably their job or their license to practice, but practice has been put on the line. See, the person I know that has the same issue with the small veins being blocked, when I told him what the small veins do, he says, I already know that. The doctor told me this. But see, he was a few years ahead of me before this happened to me. He had already had it happen to him, and the doctor told him this. So somewhere between the time, because I seen the exact same doctor this man did, okay? Somewhere between the time of his ordeal and my ordeal, the people at the top has decided that, because see, in his medical records it's been put that he's not supposed to work. Well, that makes sense. Why would you want to push blood through the little veins by exerting or exercising and bring on a heart attack? Because even though the excuse was you'll have a little heart attack and it won't be enough to kill you, it'll be like one RN said. She says, right, but every little heart attack, regardless of how little, damages the heart. And once you have enough little heart attacks, it's called heart failure. I think we all know what heart failure means, right? Correct. And he's got it in his medical records. He's not allowed to work. So what we see here is a situation where the people at the top realized this is something that could put a lot of people around the United States on disability. Well, they don't want that. No, they don't want that. They don't care if they kill you off. They don't want to give back any money that they take from you. Well, we couldn't do that. That'd be giving back money we're taking from them. You worked all your life and you have this happen and they took Social Security out of your check your whole life. But they don't want to give it back. Why do you think they keep up at the age to retirement? Because they're hoping you'll die so they never have to give it back. I know this sounds crazy, but this is reality, okay? In your face. Now to what I'm talking about here. Why are you looking at this picture? Why am I talking about these people? Oh, about a month and a half ago or so, maybe 2 months ago, I've had chest pain as I was told I would have off and on all the time. Not every day, but some worse than other. And I've gotten used to that, okay? I really have. About a month or so ago, I had some chest pain right square in the middle of the sternum that I'm not used to. And okay, fine, a couple months ago, whatever it is. And off and on, that pain will show up as well, right? And the one night when I was just laid down and I was laying there talking to Heather, and I just happened to have my hand across my chest the way I was laying, when this pain right in the middle of my sternum came back, and I literally felt my heart racing with my finger. And when the pain went away, my heart stopped racing. I thought, really? So I knew it was heart related. So I had said something to the heart doctor about it. Well, they put this monitor on me. I was told there could be a couple causes. One can lead to a stroke, and another one can be cured with a medication, and the other one could lead to a stroke. But what the cure for that one is, I was never told, didn't ask. And they wanted to put the heart monitor on me to be monitored for 30 days. This is why I'm doing this video. So, okay, so we get this heart monitor. And I got this patch on my chest. It's a wireless heart monitor. So I got this patch I put on my chest. And I got what looks like a smartphone, but the app on it is that of your chest and your heart. And it's showing you the patch. And if it's not tight enough to the skin, beep, 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 and you tighten it into the skin. And it's only on held with adhesive, okay? And when the patch gets bad, it indicates, goes beep, 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 and it says change patch, okay? Well, one night, probably about a week and a half into having it, it went off and it said change patch. It was like 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning. I said, no, I was too tired to get up and change the patch because there's a lot that goes into it. It's not just a matter of pull this one off, pull the paper off, the other one stick it on and be done. That's not how it works. So there's a chip inside this patch that you got to take out and put the chip into the next patch, and it has 4 steps for getting it adhesive to yourself, and that don't hold without constantly coming loose to the skin. So I used a piece of duct tape on each end so that it wouldn't lift on the ends when I roll over and move my arm or what have you, and that fixed the problem. I would not have it going off, and it was constantly monitoring me. Well, this particular night, it came up, changed patch about 1, 2 a.m. in the morning, woke me up with the alarm. I looked and I said, screw you, I'll do it in the morning. So I did, because I had to get up in a few hours to take my son to work anyhow, so that's what I did. But then I got thinking, that means they wasn't receiving no signal from me. Because if it's saying change patch and it's loose to the skin and the chip ain't working, the monitor's not working. So I proceeded to call LifeWatch and ask them about this. Was you receiving a signal during this time? The answer was no. We do not receive a signal when them errors are up. You have to remove the chip and put the chip back in. When the error messages go down, we will receive the signal. And I says, well, but I had no signal from this time to this time. Why didn't you call then? And so then they said, well, we've been given orders not to call any patient until after 24 hours of no signal. I'm like, after 24 hours of no signal? She says, yes, that's correct. I'm like, now hold on. Let's just get this straight. So if There's no signal coming to you. You can't monitor me. And when you can't monitor me, you're going to wait 24 hours after you can't monitor me to call me. Well, what happens if somebody had a heart attack and fell over? And maybe during the time they were pushing on their patch, or maybe they landed wrong, whatever, because these things are just sitting there with some glue. I was told not to use any extra tape at all. That if it comes loose, just take it off and put a new patch on, but they only gave you one patch per week. They sent me some more patches, but oh my God. And every time you move, one end was lifting or the other end was lifting and was constantly being loose to the skin. This is the reason I put a piece of duct tape on each end of it to my skin to hold it down. When I did that, that eliminated the problem. And it was reading just fine. But the question mark is this. If this place is a monitoring company right here. Everywhere health goes, we go. And we're monitoring you. And I was told by the heart clinic, these people monitor you 24 hours a day. If they see anything, blah, 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 you will get a phone call from them. They will advise you to go to the hospital. And if they see anything critical, they will send an ambulance to your door. Okay, that sounds all humpty-dory. But the problem is when you actually talk to these people, they don't get a signal. They didn't send no ambulance. They didn't call my phone to see if I was okay. Well, we can't call you until after 24 hours of no signal. So if you had a heart attack and fell over and that patch fell off and come loose to the skin when you fell over, they'd have no signal and they'd wait 24 hours to call you? Well, you'd be dead. That's the reason I'm doing this video. So I got a new name for LifeWatch. It's called Joke Watch. That's right. Watches collect your money while we joke around. I figure this way, LifeWatch, huh? Maybe they're too busy watching their coffee and donuts. Maybe they're playing a video game. Maybe they're watching television. Who knows what they're doing? But the reality is this. Why would you instruct your employees, the people supposed to be watching the signal, that if the signal disappears, you don't call them till after 24 hours? Why would you do that? It's just a common sense thing. If it comes loose to the chest, well, there's no signal. You're not monitoring nothing. What are you monitoring? A flat line? Seriously, let's get real here, okay? What are you monitoring? What are the patients unaware of it? Why would you let them go 24 hours and then call them and say, oh, by the way, did you know we're not got a signal from you in 24 hours or 28 hours or whatever it is when you call? What if something critically happened during that time that the doctors could have, by the reading, said, oh, he's got this going on or she's got this going on with her, and they can take care of that problem. But now they don't know it because there was no signal, because Joke Watch. Do you follow what I'm saying? That's the reason I'm doing this video. And I'm going to attach a clip to the end of this video. I'm going to have to shorten it a little bit because I don't want you to have to wait 10 minutes for them to answer the phone. I called LifeWatch. So I'm going to rip out the part where I was on hold all that time and go to the point where they actually came on the line and answered the phone, okay? But I did call LifeWatch, and I want you to hear what they told me on the phone. I asked them the question, what happens if somebody dies? And it was like a dead phone. The guy was there, but the guy that answered, when I asked him that question, there was no response and there was no answer. There was just complete silence. But common sense, if you have any critical thinking skills at all, or any common sense, would tell you that why would you be waiting to 24 hours after losing signal when you're charging money to a medical industry to say that your technology, we are monitoring you 24 hours a day, and we have the graft of your heart or your pulse and you're this in front of us to watch to see to it that you're okay. But when it's loose to the skin or anything happens, there is no signal to them, which means they can't be monitoring you because they don't receive a signal, but they're going to not call you till after 24 hours after not receiving a signal, huh? I'm sorry, but that's not LifeWatch. That's JokeWatch. That's a scam. That's this company here taking money for incomplete service or for not doing their job, just lying to you, saying we are, right? We can give you this fancy equipment and convince you we are. We can prove it works, but we have this double standard or this loophole that says, oh, we don't care. We lost the signal. We're not going to let the patient know. We'll wait until after 24 hours or whenever we feel like calling them. If we feel like calling them, let them know. That's less people to watch, and we still get to charge the same amount as if we watched you. Do you follow what I'm saying? So anyhow, I'm going to get on out of here, and I'm going to show you my phone call to him. And you can hear with your own ears what this person said to me. Be careful of this new technology. It seems like we got a lot of lazy, no good people doing the monitoring that wouldn't know what monitoring 24 hours a day meant if it slapped them in the face. Because obviously they don't possess common sense or critical thinking skills. And with that being said, I'm out of here. Here we go.
Thanks so much for calling LifeWatch about Heart Company. My name is Devontae. Can I have the patient's phone number, please?
Yes, the name is William Greathouse. 612-790-4340. 612-790-4340.
Patient's first and last name, please.
William Greathouse.
And then the date of birth and address, please.
122460 and 924 11th Avenue, Howard Lake, lot 36. And I got a P.O. box. Do you need that too?
Oh, no, the physical address is fine. You are the patient I'm speaking with, correct?
Yes, I am.
Can I help you, sir?
Okay, so I had this happen once. I've had this actually happen a couple of times where the patch cuts out and don't have the signal with the monitor.
Mm-hmm.
And it actually happened the first time it happened, it was all night long. And then I called you guys, and you guys said that you guys have instructions not to call people back after 24 hours of no signal. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And so then yesterday, well, actually on Friday, it prompted me to change the patch. So I changed the patch, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it went good. And then later that afternoon, it kept saying it wasn't tight to the skin when it was, and it was flashing the little orange light. So I pulled the chip and put the chip back in with the patch on me, and that seemed to have fixed the problem, right? And then, of course, the error thing about not being tight to my skin was gone. And then yesterday, it proceeded to say the same thing again and again, and then it said change the patch again. So I took the patch off, and I sent the phone back to you, the monitor back to you today.
Okay, so today was your last day. When was the last day you had it on?
I took it off yesterday, and I was waiting to see if you'd call me this morning. You said you'd call after 24 hours, and of course nobody called, so I went ahead and put it back in the mail to you guys.
Did you return it back UPS or post office?
Yes, I went to the post office.
And you did that today, correct?
Yes, I did that today, so.
Okay, so you're good to go on my end. Any other questions for me?
Nope, that's about it. I mean, I guess what I don't understand is if it loses signal and you guys don't call back after 24 hours after it's lost signal, so if somebody kicked the bucket and there was no signal because they kicked the bucket, you would what? Call them back after they're dead 24 hours later, or how does that work? That didn't make any sense to me. So
Yeah. So you usually they do call after the 20 if they start receiving data after the 24 hours. They usually give you a call.
okay, yeah, well, I took it off yesterday. Didn't get called today, so I'm calling you because I went ahead and returned it to you guys. So, but that was my question. So, with that, I have nothing else. Okay, thanks.
Okay. Did you have any other questions or concerns for me?
Nope.
Okay. Well, sir, thanks so much for calling LifeWatch about the hard company. Have a great day. Okay.
Yep, bye. There you go. You heard that, didn't you?